Welcome to the Reasonable Southerner podcast. The South isn't all magnolias in the moonlight, but neither is it all racism and violence. We are just like you. My name is Frances Coleman. I share my insights about my life and yours. Politics is the one place that Catholic bishops should not want to be. I grew up in a world peppered by images of naked young women in the Playboy magazines my older brothers bought, for the interviews, of course, and the emergence of pornographic movies like Deep Throat. But nothing prepared me for the obscenity that some leaders of my church have attempted to visit on American society. The Oxford English Dictionary defines an obscenity as something abhorrent to morality or virtue, or repulsive by reason of crass disregard of moral or ethical principles. A strong contingent of conservative members of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops is attempting to deny the sacrament of communion to President Joe Biden because he supports laws that permit women to get abortions. At the last minute, the bishops backed off their brazen attempt to single out Biden and instead voted recently to draft a teaching document that many of them hope will rebuke Catholic politicians, including Biden, for receiving communion despite their support for abortion rights. Let's stop right here and get something straight, okay? I believe abortion is a terrible sin and absolutely immoral. But the truth is, the bishop's attempt is less about morality than it is about politics, power, and money. I am Catholic, I go to Mass on Sundays, and I believe in God. I don't think that God punishes or rewards people based on their politics. Neither do I believe that the Divine Master delegates that ability to punish and reward based on whom you vote for. The Catholic Church is a very old institution. Some of us are mindful of how the leadership of the Church has taken morally indefensible positions over the centuries, and how the faith, to say nothing of the people involved, has suffered for it. You would think that the leadership of the Church would be smart enough to understand that playing politics with religion is good for neither and dangerous to both. Historically, though, we Catholics are old hands at it. Hundreds of years ago, a nice wad of cash donated to the church could grease a soul's way into heaven. And of course, direct intervention in the political process was once routine. Recall that it was a pope who divided all the undiscovered territory in the world between Portugal and Spain, and that a nice Catholic lad, King Henry VIII, destroyed Catholic England because the Pope would not grant him a divorce. I don't care about the politics. Our nation has allowed itself to become so divided, so misinformed, and so driven by myths, prejudices, and lies that it's hard for me to recognize. But I do care about Christianity. I care about my church and the ideas that Jesus Christ put before us. For the uninitiated, communion is a sacrament where Catholics receive the body of Christ. We believe that Christ is truly present in that sacrament. It is there to nourish us spiritually. It's a profound act of God's love for us that defies our understanding. It is not something that a church should withhold from someone because his or her politics are offensive to certain members. They'll deny it, but some of the bishops are clearly pandering to their pray, pay, and obey parishioners, the ones who are wealthy anyway, knowing that they'll be generous with their donations if their church leaders will take sides in America's political divisions. Denying communion to a person because his beliefs don't square with the political agenda of the church, that is obscene. It is also abhorrent to morality or virtue. Anyone who believes empowering the state to make a criminal out of a woman who aborts a fetus bespeaks a misunderstanding of the difference in ceding power to the state and what is simply immoral. The bigger idea is this: don't let your deeply held beliefs be co-opted by any group which has an agenda that has nothing to do with what you believe. And remember that the way to charm a person is to agree with him. If you are horrified by the idea of killing unborn babies, as I am, then beware of an organization that tells you that God agrees with you and that you should open your heart and your pocketbook. It is obscene and offensive to God in a way that an exploitative magazine or porn flick never could be. I'm Frances Coleman. I worked for newspapers for more than 45 years, from Texas to my native Louisiana, and finally to my home near Mobile, Alabama. I've been a reporter, an editorial writer, a columnist, and an editorial page editor. I've commented on the BBC, been a guest on the Rachel Maddow Show, and had my column distributed nationwide. If you like this podcast, please subscribe. But even if you don't like it, I hope you will find it thought-provoking.